Okay, so we read the first text on the Mayas, and these are the facts that we came up with. These facts go in text box number 1. You're going to do the same thing on your colonies project that's due on Friday. This is our practice run, and just like you're doing this, you're going to do the project on your own. Now, when we look at the next text, it's about the Aztecs. So text number 2 on your sheet, it should say Aztecs. And let's take a look at the factual information we can find in that article. Where were the Aztecs from? Mexico, good. So they are from Mexico. When did they settle in Mexico? Jason? When did they settle? Around
1280.
So they settled in Mexico around 1200 AD. What else do we know? What did they do? How did they get their food? Lily?
They harvest.
They were farmers. Good. And is that all they did?
No.
What did they do to become better farmers? We're at the middle of paragraph 2. What did they do to become better farmers? What do you think, Julie? Middle of paragraph 2. What did they do to become better farmers? Yes.
They saw the problem that destroyed floating gardens around the city.
That's right. They came up with creative solutions to farming problems. For example, what are some of the creative solutions they came up with? Christopher? What are some of the creative?
Floating gardens.
Floating gardens. They ran out of space, so they made floating gardens. What else? What's the other solution that they came up with? Lily?
They began developing complex irrigation systems.
Yes, they came up with irrigation systems. What's an irrigation system? What's an irrigation? To irrigate your crops. Yes?
To make them safer.
To water them. The irrigation system. Have y'all ever seen on the fields those long, they look like outdoor plumbing, big semicircles? And they pull them and they go up and down the rows. They're watering. That's an irrigation system. What else did they do? So they were farmers. Did they stay in one little place?
No.
No, what did they do?
They had to conquer other people's valleys.
That's right. Their armies conquered other areas. So they conquered others and built an empire. And what's the last fact? What did they have? All those people,
Slaves.
they had slaves. They would conquer other groups of people and they would take them as slaves. So these are your facts for the Aztecs. Now, since the purpose of this whole lesson is to practice comparing and contrasting, what's comparing when you find what?
The same. The
Things that are the same. So you're looking for similarities. And when you contrast, you're looking for what?
differences.
Differences. Good job. So let's start with similarities. How are these two ancient civilizations alike? Anaya?
They're both from Mexico.
Both from Mexico. So I'm using brown to highlight the things that are the same. So they're both from Mexico. What else, Heather?
They're farmers.
They're both farmers. Good. Anything else?
They built like the Aztecs. They built floating gardens, and the Maya built the pyramids.
So they were
Inventors?
inventors. Okay, I'll take it. So they were both inventors. Anything else?
They both have skills.
Okay, they were skilled inventors. Good. Now, let's talk about the ways they were different. How were they different? Lily.
Instead of the Maya conquering other valleys to turn into slaves, instead of doing that, they built pyramids and they never.
Okay, so the Aztecs had armies and they built an empire and they had slaves. The Mayans did not, right? And the Mayans built pyramids. So those are two ways that they're different. So on the back of your sheet next, where it says both texts, you're going to write me a short list of how they're the same and a short list of how they're different. Does everyone have this?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna,
No.
no? Okay, that's all right. I'm gonna give you a handout. Let's move on so we can see what it looks like. So, when we compare both from Mexico, what else?
Farmers.
Both farmers, and they were both skilled creators or inventors. Let's use inventors better. Are there any other similarities? Yes.
They both settled in.
Did they?
Yeah. Well, they did, but in different, like you said, 1200.
They did not. And we're going to look at the timeline in just a minute so you can see that difference. But they didn't both settle in AD. All right, let's look at the differences. Compare and contrast. And this is what your both text is supposed to look like. Right here, this is what you're going to do. Same thing on your project. You're going to show me how you compare them and how you contrast them. How are they different?
The Aztecs had slaves, and the Maya didn't.
Okay, let's start at the beginning. The Mayans settled in BC and the Aztecs in AD. That's one, and I'll show you that on the timeline. Also, the Aztecs built an empire and took slaves.
Yep. And then the other one built pyramids that we can make.
The Mayan built pyramids. Anything else that they're different at? That's about it, right? So we've got 3 in our comparison and 3 in our contrast.
Wasn't the Aztecs population over the island? Like, didn't they didn't they run out of space? So they had conquered other valleys?
Was that because they ran out of space or they were ambitious? What does the text tell us? Remember, we're not making assumptions right now. What we're doing is looking for actual information in the text. That's something you can look up, but not something that's here. So we've got 3 things that they're alike in and 3 things that they're different. That's what your graphic organizer should look like. Any questions on what the graphic organizer should look like? Tonight you're going to go home and you're going to work on your colonies packet. And it's just like this one. Your first page is 2 texts, and on the back, you're gonna have the same graphic organizer. And you're gonna fill it out just like we did for the Aztecs and the Mayans. You're gonna do the same thing for Southern colonies and New England colonies. And then where it says both texts, you're gonna compare and contrast them. Not in complete sentences, not in paragraphs, just bullet points. You're gathering information. Tomorrow when you come back, we'll review it, and then we'll start writing our paragraphs based on the information that we have gathered. Yes?
Do you expect it to be all done?
I expect the first page to be done by tomorrow. Okay? This page should be done by tomorrow.
Only that page?
Just this page, so that tomorrow you can bring this to me and I can help you go to the next step. If you didn't do it, you're gonna end up doing it without help. And that's fine. If you don't do it for tomorrow, you don't lose points. But if you do it for tomorrow, I'll be able to help you with the next page. Okay? Now it's up to you. The whole packet's due on Friday. I cannot help you Friday morning. Okay, so if you need my help, you need to stick to the schedule. Okay, any other questions? All right, thank you.